Welcome everyone to the IDX Broker webinar for using IDX to add SEO to your real estate websites. A lot of times we get people asking, about an IDX that it has to be on their website. So we're going to kind of demystify and give tips or the best practices of being able to use IDX into your website to get the most out of the SEO or how to set it up. So kind of cover a quick set of questions that we get oftentimes on the sales side before anything gets going. And most of them, the callers are going to come in and say, it has to be on our servers in order to get indexed, in order for SEO to get credit from the contents on their website, which is not necessarily true. Displaying an IDX on a subdomain won't get you any SEO. That's also not true. That is still the way we've done it since day one. And also a lot of people have mentioned that it won't look like their website if it's on a subdomain. So we're going to kind of show you and explain to you how IDX Broker works and how you can benefit from SEO as well as matching the looks and feel of your website. So to start off with, what you want to do is you want to create a custom subdomain that's going to display all IDX Broker pages. So when you create an account with IDX Broker, you'll choose a custom subdomain or you'll use the default. The default is going to be yourdomain.idxbroker.com, which isn't going to give you any direct SEO to your root domain. When you set up an account, we strongly encourage every single person to set up a custom subdomain. That subdomain can be any phrase that you want: search.yourdomain, properties, homes, listings, IDX, real estate, and then depending on how your account is set up or your website set up and your URL structure, you could even use www as a subdomain. Creating a custom subdomain in IDX Broker, you'll choose your phrase, and then you'll go into your registrar and you're going to create a CNAME record. Whatever phrase you set up, so it could be search, properties, homes, listings, real estate, IDX, you're going to create a CNAME record for that phrase that you want to use, and then you're going to point that back to subdomains.idxbroker.com. That's going to tell Google when they crawl your website that everything that's displayed on that subdomain page, that custom subdomain, so everything here in red, is going to belong to your root domain. So all your search pages, your results pages, details pages, as well as widgets. Widgets also give you SEO. How will it look like my website? A lot of times people have a custom built website. When they're hosted on a subdomain, yes, it's leaving your servers. It is going to an idxbroker.com server, but they don't want it to look like it. Well, a lot of times if you don't recognize the URL structure, a lot of websites you visit, you leave their domain every time you go to like a hotel, book a room, book cars, book flights a lot of times too. They're sometimes housed on subdomains. So, and then another thing too is iframing. A lot of people just ask for a simple iframe. An iframe, is going to be a blank background and inserted inside of a window into your website. Those iframes are not branded, no SEO, and you can't really control and create many custom pages either. But what if your website's not mobile responsive? That's no problem at all. The site that I'm using for an example on the first set is going to be a non-responsive website, so we can still show you some options and tools. So how will it look on my website? Oftentimes people are going to call in, they say, well, it's just going to be a blank background, which is true. This is what an IDX feed display looks like with no wrapper, no nothing. That wrapper is going to match all of your branding and everything, so it's all going to look exactly the same. When you do have an IDX Broker wrapper built, they do communicate with your pages, and your pages communicate with IDX, and IDX Broker communicates with yours. So what our team does is they're going to build an HTML wrapper. So you can see this is the same search page that we were just looking at. It does now have the wrapper, so it's got the header and the footer that's pasted on there, but it also covers the overall layout with it. You could make changes to your website after you get going, which is very common because once you get the IDX Broker control panel, you're going to be adding all of those new pages to the website, your community pages, your search pages. Your navigation menu is going to change, probably a guarantee, And if it's not, you should be. You want to be adding as much content to those navigation bars for directing your clients where to go. Once you do that, you'll have to update the wrapper, something that you can call into a support team. They can help you update it. It's something you can actually learn and do on your own. Once you kind of do that initial one and see where to go, we've got tools how to do that. But if it's with WordPress, the plugin that we have now, once you make any changes, you can refresh the wrapper and it'll make that change immediately on your IDX Broker pages that's on your main website. So if it's not mobile responsive, people are going to ask, can it be viewed on a smartphone? Yes, we offer a mobile wrapper that's designed for any smartphone. So it's a mobile wrapper that you can choose to display and use, or you can use your standard mobile responsive template from your theme. We'll go over that one a little bit. So this is the standard out of the box mobile wrapper that's available. This is a search page. You can see you kind of got a little bit limited with fields. It doesn't pull over the exact branding, but you can apply custom CSS. So you can make some changes on the colors. Your logo, you can add your logo into these. So on the top, typically on the top right is where the logo would be. So this is a detailed page. So using the mobile wrapper, it doesn't allow you to scroll through the images individually. So you will have to select View Photo Gallery in order to view all of those. So it does give some good information. It is clean, but it's just not quite as much as what you can get out of a mobile wrapper. What about a tablet? It's kind of been a newer thing. Tablets are kind of everywhere now. Bigger phones necessarily don't use tablets as much, but there's still quite a few that do. The mobile wrapper can be used on a tablet. And then also if it isn't mobile responsive, you can choose to go the full screen, or you can use the mobile wrapper. The mobile wrapper will look just like the previous screen with the iPhone. Now you can choose within your own dashboard if you want to enable or disable and use mobile wrappers. You'll also have the ability to select if you want to use mobile wrappers for tablets and mobile phone, or you can do both of them at a time. So you guys can separate what you guys want to do for those specific mobile wrappers. So responsive websites. A lot of people, if they don't have mobile responsive websites, they are going to mobile responsive websites. A couple of pointers to give out is when you do design or you look for a new website, you need some easy call to actions to your site. How's a client get a hold of you? You always want a phone number available. Next, easiest call to action is going to be a search tool. Provide them a place to start their search. And if you happen to be working in an area that you specialize in a certain niche area, community, subdivision, golf courses, specific condo buildings, create those featured communities and link those to landing pages. Those landing pages are going to help draw traffic in because you can control the long tail URLs, which we'll go over in a little bit. But you're going to direct them right to a landing page of listings. So responsive websites with our mobile first template. So you can see this is the same type of a search page that we were on before. So it's going to continue to move over the branding of all the websites. So this navigation menu is now into a hamburger menu up in the top right hand corner for the specific website. It'll pull in the logo automatically. And then the other hamburger across the blue bar is going to allow you to change to the different IDX Broker pages. Those typically are going to be basic search, advanced search, address search, listing ID, and map search as well. These are also set up as predictive typing, where the other one is a scroll menu where you scroll down and you select it. When you have this one here, it's going to be predictive text. So as soon as you start typing in the city, it'll generate that for you, and then you can select it and add a few more. It's a little bit easier to add these ones than it is on the mobile wrappers. Do you have to use the mobile first templates if you have a mobile responsive website? No, you can still use the mobile wrapper provided by IDX. Can you brand this mobile wrapper? Yes. And it is mobile responsive, so it will work both directions. So portrait or landscape, it will adjust and fit the screen correctly. So we'll take a look at a details page as well. So this is a little bit different than what the other details page that we had. So I scrolled this one down just a little bit, and I got rid of that top navigation menu that's going to be that red bar. That way you can see that you can, a lot of times when people go look at websites, their first thing they're going to do is look at the image of the house. Most oftenly is going to be the front main portrait. But with a mobile responsive or mobile first templates, you can click individual property pictures down below and it'll display them on the larger one. And you can also swipe through it to view additional pictures as well. And then again, how does the mobile first templates work with the tablets? Tablets still going to be used. The mobile first is going to look kind of a cross between your website and your mobile device. It does fit the screen a lot easier. It does shrink it down. If you were to shrink the window down and down and down, it would eventually go on top of each other and stack it up just like a mobile device. But since what it's done is it just shrunk down the field so that it does fit your screen correctly without having to do that. Again, you've got your call to actions up there. You got your phone number always available, communities, and then your instant search pages as well. You can still apply custom CSS if you wanted to modify these colors. So that navigation bar up on the top where it's blue, you can go ahead and change it into your branding. I like it a little bit better that it's not the same as the red color. It does pop it out and give the viewer or visitor somewhere else to go to be able to search for any listings. Again, this will automatically switch over on the portrait or landscape as well. We'll look at that same detailed property. So you can see here, you're going to get a little bit more information. It's going to stack the images a little bit wider, so you can have a little bit more content down below. Once again, I did scroll down just a little bit just so you can see the photos, and then you can also see a little bit of the listing pricing information of what it will be. And then we mentioned earlier about creating hyperlocal landing pages. There's two different ways of doing the hyperlocal landing pages. So you can display them on your own domain. So you can create your, mydomain.fairmount-Hendricks Parks Homes for sale. You can customize that, put it on your own website, your own hosting, draw your own traffic inside there. But what you'll want to do is to be able to add additional SEO to it is create predefined search widget for the community or area that you are displaying this on. It's just a little snippet of code, so you'll go create a predefined search for that specific area. You can set it by price ranges, create a whole bunch of them and stack them in here. But you're going to grab a little snippet of code and then embed that right above the information here. So what he's done is he's put it on the information, and then right below that on that bar it says view more properties. That'll actually take you to a results page for that entire search that you've already done in the back end. So on a widget, like I said earlier, the widget will provide you with the index for that specific property to your primary domain. So it's going to recognize that that widget inside this page, it does belong to the subdomain, but since it's on a custom subdomain, it will direct it back to your root domain. Now, another option on these landing pages too is creating an IDX Broker hosted one. So this one here is not hosted on your website. This is actually straight on the subdomain page. So you're going to create a predefined search within the system. It's called a saved link for the community. You can set it by price ranges, areas, anything that you want. You can narrow it down with multiple advanced search fields as well. You can control the long tail URL. For this particular one, I think it's off the same neighborhood that we were looking at before. So this one here would be this client's domain.com/I. The I is just going to mean that it's an IDX Broker saved link. And then you can control the long tail URL. So this specific one is Fairmount-neighborhood. So when they created this page, it is Fairmount neighborhood. Another huge thing about IDX is, so you want to draw traffic to your own website by your blog if you are into blogging, creating blog posts for specific areas, communities, subdivisions, neighborhoods, country clubs, buildings. Create all those, write content about it, and then go in and create another showcase widget or a carousel widget or a slideshow widget and embed that. So you're going to draw traffic there off of your blog, but then the widget is going to help promote and give additional traffic to there as well. So this is another option. So before was a blog post about a specific community. This one here is trying to draw traffic to your website, not necessarily about real estate. This one here is a Whole Foods market that just came in. It was a very hot topic in our little community. Write a blog post about a certain place you went and visited, how the service was about it, what's coming up around it, and then just drop in a little snippet of code displaying all the listings that's within this area. It's not going to take very much to do it. You can set up a widget in about 2 minutes. This particular one, what I did is because this is in a downtown area, it's not the easiest one for us to search for it. So I set up a radius search. So it's with Platinum. I selected right where the property is at and drew a 2.5 mile radius. So it's basically within walking distance for somebody to go to Whole Foods Market or just a quick little drive. But it's going to pull in all listings from that area. Try to get traffic to your website, capture that lead, get people looking at listings without selling real estate. So I'm going to go over a few questions that we got coming in. It went kind of quick, not too big of a topic here. Got somebody asking, can it be for sold properties? Currently, it's going to only pull in your featured listings and display them as sold, so you can create those types of landing pages. We are currently rolling out sold data across the nation, so we're hitting a few MLSs a week. It just depends on how fast the rollouts are and how successful they are. Make sure there's no errors. Once we get going a little faster on those, it's going to help across the nation. So if you do have a question whether your MLS is already on it, contact either our sales team or our support team. If you've got a current account, check with our support team. Those guys can also help you out as well. Got a question. So I've got mydomain.idxbroker.com/IDX search and address. So that currently, yes, that is displayed on an idxbroker.com subdomain. It is very beneficial if you do create a custom subdomain and be able to direct that traffic to you. So it does take a little bit of time. You got to propagate that subdomain page. It can take up to 24, up to 48 hours, but there's oftentimes it only takes 5 to 10 minutes. It just depends on who your hosting is. If you needed help with that, there's a couple of different locations that you guys can go to. All right, so on our main website at idxbroker.com, up in the very top right-hand corner, there's a support link. And up on the top section of that, type in custom subdomain. And right here, setting up a custom subdomain is going to be the first thing that's available. So it's going to show you steps for creating that CNAME record on your name server. There's individual links to like GoDaddy, Network Solutions, HostGator, Yahoo Small Business, 1&1, Cloudflare, Bluehost. If your specific domain is not, your hosting is not on here, our support team can still help you out. Reach out to those guys. It does benefit if you use custom subdomains. So if you can, try to get that done. In your dashboard, it's going to show you what to do. You'll go into your account info, use custom subdomain. You want to do yes, what your custom subdomain is going to be. Now keep in mind, you don't want to set it to use custom subdomain until you have that propagated inside your hosting. And then the next thing you'll have to do is those links on your website are going to change because they're now going to go to search.primarydomain.com. And before it was going to primarydomain.idxbroker.com. You will need to update the links within your website. So if you do have multiples on there, it will take a little bit of time, but it is very beneficial. It's very hard to get ahead of Zillow and Trulia when somebody does property searches for individual listings. But you want to try to get ahead of that market and get hyperlocal and create content and search results for communities, neighborhoods, subdivisions. I met up with a guy at a show last weekend who created a blog post in June 21st of 2011 on a specific search phrase. It was a search phrase for St. Louis homes for sale with something. I'm not going to say what it is because he's done a great job. So a blog post from 2011. It's very common search phrase. It was his own blog post on his own servers, and he has IDX Broker linked all over that blog post that he did. He's ranking above, it goes realtor, his domain, and then Trulia and Zillow are down below that even further. So when you're blogging, you're not necessarily blogging for today's market or today's search, but as it indexes and crawls, it's going to start increasing. So 4 or 5 years from now, you're going to be building that SEO that you don't even know you're doing right now. Do you create just one CNAME record, or can you have more than one? Well, on your on your registrar, you can create more than one CNAME record for other subdomains. But as far as IDX Broker, you can only create one custom subdomain, and you'll create that CNAME record for that specific subdomain phrase that you want to use. It will need to be a CNAME record. It cannot be an A name. That A name record is going to be your root domain. Changing out links within the site after setting up a custom subdomain. Yes, you'll need to change those out. So like if on your navigation menu, you're going to have pages over here. So they're going to go to, like if you can see down in the bottom left-hand corner, it's going to go to jefftrue.idxbroker.com/idx/search/address. That new subdomain that you're going to create is going to be search.jefftrue.com/idx. So when you update the wrapper, it's also going to update those for you. But if you have any links within your primary website, and I don't think I have any, but if you created any predefined search landing pages, here's a good example for you. So this is the example site that I was using, but I know there's these featured communities in here. So these featured communities, if you change that URL and it's going to a saved link and not necessarily to a landing page on the own domain, right now it would go to like ineugenere.idxbroker.com. If you're switching it to a saved link on a custom subdomain, you got to change that URL to search.ineugenere.com. So you got to make sure that it goes to the correct location. Support team can help walk you through what you need to do. Thank you guys for joining, and keep a lookout for any future webinars that we have coming up. They're always going to be on the top row of our main website. You can also go to our upcoming webinars page, and it'll let you know we try to schedule them out in a quarter in advance, so they are all going to be available for you. Thank you guys for joining me. Have a great afternoon.